Alright, I'm just gonna assume that you were okay with me doing that.
Well, I did say like 3 times while you were talking that I was ready whenever. No need to assume.
Well, Kamui, the problem is...
I had to check my
there,
mic 3 times. I kept walking up and down stairs just to make sure like everything was working, and it was.
well,
You just weren't listening.
there was a reason to assume, because I didn't hear you, because I was talking.
Because you weren't listening.
That's right. Hey, welcome to the Walky Talky podcast. So did it actually work? Are we actually live? Space, if you want to confirm. Public. Yeah, it looks like it's all good.
Hello, this is where the assumptions come in. I always assume it worked.
Yes. And it looks like it's all good. And speaking of being all good, I don't actually have a segue to inviting people to the Discord, but I'll do it anyways. With that being said...
No, screw that. Let's stop wasting time inviting to the Discord and instead invite them to subscribe.
Yeah, so you know what? Here, I'm not even gonna post the pin to the Discord. We got enough Discord members. You know what? Don't join. I'll just do subscribe ! I'm just gonna pin that. So there, that's your beginning of stream.
Subscribe link.
So unnecessary. All right, with that being said, Kamui, on this 90-minute shorty snorty podcast number 1, what are we going to talk about?
Well, you said we should stream, so did you have an idea?
Well, considering the title of the stream is Boruto TBV Chapter 21 Inbound.
Incoming?
It was Chapter 21 Inbound, but I could do it to spoilers incoming, and then next stream Inbound. I like that better.
Either way, I had the right idea. That's all I was checking for.
So let me just do that really quick. And while I do that, what about Chapter 21 spoilers incoming did you want to talk about? The fact we're not looking at them?
The only thing I'm avoiding it, but
we are.
I've gotten the gist of one thing, which is extremely vague, and we all kind of assumed it anyway. We've been thinking about how this is gonna piss off. The other thing, I just skimmed by at 100 miles an hour, but I think I saw something.
Okay, let me think of everything that I've seen so far. And realistically, we probably should just do this right before we react to the chapter, but it's okay to do it now too. Since we might see things in between now and then. Sarada's Mangekyo might have been confirmed its name, ability, jutsu, whatever it is. Or it's not even a Mangekyo, it might just be something else entirely. I saw some sort of name, I don't know if it was that or not, but I think it started with an H, I don't know.
I didn't see that. What I did see though is well, I think I saw it anyway. It was one that it's really OP, and so I was memeing. I was like, "All right, great." So everything we were worried about with Mitsuki is coming true. But
yeah, second, I've seen that as well. Especially while you're on that, I'll just go ahead segue to #art.
Oh yeah.
Did you see what I put in there, by the way, to you?
Yeah, you were going to post the exact same thing.
Yeah, from Keto as well, the exact same things. That was pretty funny. But anyways, please continue. Are you continuing? Did you walk away, Kamui? Are we? I do not hear you if you are talking. Well, Space, is it just me? Oh, I know. I closed down the Discord somehow. Oops. Well, somehow or another, I closed down the Discord and didn't realize it.
Okay, I was like, what the fuck happened?
I was talking, I was like, where are you? Like, did you, like, oh, what happened? The Discord just wasn't open, and I was like, well, how did that happen?
Okay.
I didn't realize.
What were you saying?
Well, what I was saying was, please continue. And then you weren't, which is why I was confused.
Where did I leave off?
Mitsuki? Sucking? And Kido knows it?
Well, the meme, it used to be a meme of like the same idea, but it was Sakura with
Yes! Yes!
And I was like, bro, if he was objectively the strongest for the longest time, like what has happened?
know. How has Mitsuki in like literally 2 chapters become the Sakura when he was actually just the strongest?
It's like the worst thing that's happened.
Dumbest thing that's happened. So I also saw
the
something
most
about
unnecessary dumb thing.
Oh god.
It just didn't need to be a thing.
I saw something about Sarada's Mangekyo being a black hole, but I don't know if that was speculation or commenting on the previous chapter or confirmation of this chapter. I don't know.
I saw that it's letting her fly and or levitate.
Right. I saw something like that too. Yeah. I also, so I don't know who or what this was about, but I saw something along the lines of Vaughn, I think it was, saying that they wished that he would just die already or something. And then separately that someone was standing on business. And so I'm assuming that both of those were about Konohamaru, but I also saw something that said that in the end Boruto should say
yes, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I think I might have saw that Boruto came in and one shot Matsuri.
Which, okay. Thinking about it, that is actually really good writing in my opinion if they go that direction. It would obviously have to be the end of the fight. I don't want it to happen immediately, but Konohamaru can't do it, and so then Konohamaru sees Boruto kill Matsuri, who doesn't deserve it, arguably. That's crazy if that happens. Like, at that point, I don't even... It's not even talking about it in terms of spoilers that we've seen. It's more like theory crafting at that, because I wanted to bring it up as a theory, see what you... Almost like a rewrite. Even if it happens like...
It depends on what they do with it, because, like, obviously, if they go that route, I want some consequence and continuation of the Koji versus Boruto dilemma. Like, I don't want the Koji to just be like, oh, whatever about it. And similarly, even though I think it's ridiculous, you're better because Koji said he would.
Yeah.
He doesn't. It's like, what? So, yeah, better happen.
Well, obviously, Boruto's just not going to care about Matsuri. He's going to be cold and callous as he just kills her the same way he just looked at Code with those cold eyes. And so I need Konohamaru to see that and see Moegi in Matsuri. And so he's going to see Boruto doing that to essentially Moegi. That's what I want.
The other problem is that what they'll do? Because Konohamaru himself was just... It's tricky because he was just kind of doing that himself, but he did falter.
Exactly. And they ended the chapter with that. And so I think they're going to continue that, though. Konohamaru is obviously going to have to fight against Matsuri, and he is going to do so. But I don't think he is going to kill her or be able to do it, which is why Boruto's going to need to come anyways.
Yeah, but we have to... Depending on how much of the chapter is dedicated to Sarada nonsense, though, I don't know how much, because you can't expect, like, I hate to say this, but we basically can't really expect a Konohamaru versus Matsuri fight, because we already can pretty much assume more of the chapter will be dedicated to Sarada's fight, so, realistically. And even as it is, throughout this whole arc, the Konohamaru Matsuri stuff, it's pretty much been no fighting. It's always been the focus, been the Ryu fight. And the Konohamaru Matsuri, not really much fighting. I don't expect much fighting, to be honest. I kind of expect her to just wrap him up for 10 seconds and then Boruto show up. That's
no, if they do that, it's going to ruin it for me.
Well, I didn't say that's what's best. I said that's what I expect.
Yes. To be fair, I don't know. I don't think they'll do that. Otherwise, I don't think Konohamaru would have gotten free. I think he just would have done the Rasengan, and it just wouldn't have worked. But either way, okay. I see what you're saying with Ryu, considering Boruto Chapter 100 concluded with Sarada awakening her Mangekyo. That was the big thing for Boruto's 100th chapter, was Sarada's Mangekyo. Obviously, Chapter 101 is likely going to actually show us that, all things considered, because of that, but whatever.
Well, speaking of that, I also saw that, like, I didn't read the dialogue, but there was like a Boruto Samsuke flashback about Sarada's Mangekyo in some capacity.
Yeah, I saw that too. And then something about Boruto as well. Boruto might be on the cover with like his like time skip design, like right after losing his eye. Like it might have been fan art, but I think I saw Boruto with like a bandage, bloody bandage wrapped around his eye. That might be the cover. So I'm down for flashbacks, which is another reason why Boruto should make an appearance this chapter, regardless of the cover, because we're getting the flashback to Sasuke.
Remember, because we're getting flashbacks and we're obviously getting Sarada's Mangekyo, that's less time for Konoha to actually fight Monster.
Listen, I've said it in the past, I'm gonna say it again, and you can scoff and huff and puff all you want like you're the big bad wolf. I want Konoha to do his cool green triangle jutsu and his cool translucent pink arm grab thing from the ground, transparent soul hand seal barrier thing, and I need Monkey King Enra, and you know why? In particular, because this is the first and last chance. This is really the best time that we're going to have the opportunity to do it. It's now or never. If they don't do it here, we aren't going to get it at all. Practically guaranteed. Because this is the time to do it. Of all times, Konoha in a 1v1 fight against someone who's probably stronger than him, but that he might have a chance against if he uses his whole full arsenal and goes all out. Nobody else is around. Nobody's here to save him. This is his one chance to actually prove why he's a Sarutobi strong potential Hokage candidate. I need to see this from Konoha. I need it.
So, whereas I understand everything you just said, I'm just going to direct you to Mitsuki, and I don't think I need to explain further.
Listen, okay.
You really think, given the context of what the chapter is divided into, and then what they've done with Mitsuki, you think you're going to see Monkey King Enra? You think
okay. Hang on. Whoa,
pay attention to the one-shot chapter or the anime with Mitsuki, that they're going to pay attention to Monkey King Enra.
Listen. It's 40-something pages. He had a whole month to cook this up. I'm expecting greatness, okay? I don't want to hear otherwise.
Okay, Oodie, how many panels, how many dozens of panels do you think will be useless background shots we don't care about?
Okay, the original Team 7 had 4 members, one of which was quote-unquote useless. I don't see any reason why the new Team 7 would have 2 useless people. For whatever reason, it's just Mitsuki and not Konoha. You just shifted it to Mitsuki. And so Konoha now has to succeed, just like Kakashi.
It's what we know that doesn't happen, so...
Listen, it doesn't have to be long. Think about Kakashi versus Zabuza. How long was Pakun even there? Exactly.
Pakun? Oh, you talk about, like, the second fight.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, Pakun's like an extension of Kakashi.
Okay, Monkey King Enra's an extension of Konoha. There you go.
Yeah, but they're not going to do that because the reason I say Ikimoto doesn't watch the anime. You know this. He doesn't even read the Part 1 Boruto manga. He doesn't even read the Kawaki arc. We already discussed this with Ishiki Koji conversation. He doesn't even know who Victor is anymore, and he drew Victor.
Listen, it's the laziest option he can be. Path of least resistance. I believe in Ikimoto. This is the one time I want him to pull in Ikimoto. Copy the anime, please.
That's not pulling an Ikimoto. The Ikimoto ignores the anime.
You're really making it hard to disagree.
I mean, I guess he copied the anime when it comes to the Mitsuki's character arc, but he also ignored the anime in order to do that. So.
Because you're just so blatantly hating, but I can't find a way to make you wrong. It's a problem.
You know, This is why I don't really want to review the chapters anymore. I'm just gonna do my other videos.
Well, speaking of video,
you watch my Ada video, you think I'm probably, but think it's the best. Ikimoto's got the best writing ever. But
God.
that's just assuming that's all true.
Speaking of videos, though, Kamui, you made a new channel. How's that test been going?
Well, to be honest, I'll have to post another video because while it's set, because I left the Death Note music on that one just because of that, might as well. Copyright was only affecting monetization and not. It said it wasn't blocking it. But that's happened once before, and I just don't believe it. I just don't. The views always seem to be less when it does that, so I just don't buy it. So I'll try this on the second video. I'll be able to see because the views are really low on that. But
I'll be honest, I don't even know how to get to your second channel from your channel.
Just go to my community post where I link it.
Yeah, but which one was it? 2 weeks ago? Yesterday? Did you delete it? All of them, you say. Mr. Toby, okay.
I don't know how to get to the, how to make, those Trippy has those, other feature channels thing. I don't know how to do that. So.
Okay. Well, we can figure it out. Either way, so you got 23 views on that one, and 3.1k views on the other. So
yeah, actually, for the other ones, honestly, I mean, it's bad for me, but it's all things considered, that was better than I expected. It started picking up when I changed the title to the current one.
Oh, so I thought you meant the 23 views one. I was like, okay, well.
Oh, no, not that one. I just copied the title, the same for both, but it didn't.
Okay. Ada portrayed Kawaki. I like it.
It's kind of nonsense title, not gonna lie, but it's I mean, it's not nonsense. It's
whatever works.
Stretching what the video is actually saying.
Love how you also put Boruto 2 Blue Vortex at the end when I don't think you talk about it at all. Realistically.
Well, I do. What do you mean? I mean, I talk about 2 Blue Vortex.
Okay, that doesn't count. No, okay, you can't mention it. I mean, discussing it.
What do you mean? I talk about the time skip chapters. Chapters... with Shikamaru and Sarda and stuff.
Well, okay.
Discussing.
Where is he? Okay, you're not wrong. I was making a distinction between chapters from a year ago from now, which is still 2 Blue Vortex, but so okay, I don't really have an argument here, but you see at least what I was trying to say.
What you're trying to say is wrong.
Yes, but I tried to say it anyways. And what's up, Walky Talky?
The video was conceived 2 years ago. So.
Yeah, so chat, how are you? Martin Silva is ready for chapter 21. Darshikage says hi.
He doesn't say yo.
I don't know. So I should probably not read this chat, all things considered, because there might be spoilers here. So I've slightly looked at some of things that were said, and I'm not gonna look at any others. So thanks, chat. Okay, so what should we do now? Should we go to Boruto topics? Is there anything more we should discuss?
Probably get to just do Boruto topics, I guess.
Oh, yeah, okay. So here's something that is relevant for next chapter. So I wrote this down, I think it was this morning. So Koji said, if Jura shows up, then they should flee immediately. The reason I wrote this down is because I think I wrote it down from watching your video, actually. You had that panel on screen from before the mission started. It was when Koji's toad is on Ada's shoulder talking to, I think it was Shikamaru. And he's like, explain the mission, okay, guys, if Jura shows up, you need to flee. So is that just going to be a false gun? Or are they going to execute this? So again, what I wrote down, Koji said if Jura shows up to flee immediately. Is that still even possible now that they failed the mission immediately and are fighting? What would they even do? Is Koji saying that to trick them? Or was there a possible future where Jura did just randomly show up before anyone started fighting? How would they even get out of that one? without blowing their cover. If it was meant for now, does Koji expect everyone to leave Boruto when Jura inevitably only shows up when Boruto goes?
Well, the problem is that, like, how are they gonna get away from Jura? Because like, the only way would be flying Raiju with Boruto, but I don't know if Boruto is gonna feasibly be able to grab everyone and flying Raiju them all away or not, if Jura's actually mad.
So, this is a genuine question. Do you think Jura thinks Boruto is a leaf shinobi? Regardless of being Otsutsuki. Because he obviously called him Boruto Otsutsuki in his introduction.
I guess maybe a ex-leaf shinobi. He probably read about it in one of the book that told him about Team 10. So some ninja registration thing probably mentions it, I'm guessing.
That's fair. In which case, obviously he would just kill Boruto anyways, but I wonder if he's going to be sad about it. Because like, oh man, Boruto was a cool guy. He was a leaf shinobi.
Oh, absolutely. He's going to be sad. In fact, he's going to be so sad that he's just going to find an excuse not to do it. He's going to get there. I think Koji's bullshit, because I think what's going to happen is, okay, there's different possibilities for how this could play out, but I think, let's just say hypothetically, Jura pins Boruto down, he's going to be like, ha ha ha, not yet, Boruto. I must witness Code's destiny and see if he can kill you first.
Oh no, I can totally see that happening.
He's going to take Boruto right to Code and be like, alright, fight him.
You're letting him get away just because Code hasn't dealt with him yet. Oh
yeah, I low-key expect that, because it would be consistent with Jura's character.
Yeah, this
outside of the fact that he seems to want to kill Boruto, but that in and of itself is it's the one weirdest thing about him. So, yeah, I don't actually expect it. The only thing though is like, so actually, let me go double check exactly what Koji says would piss Jura off when he's talking to Shikamaru specifically. Now that's it. Koji says what's most critical is to not provoke Jura. If you make him angry, you have a chance of winning, blah, blah, blah. He's telling this to Shikamaru. He's not telling this to Boruto. He's telling this to Shikamaru. So what do we know happened? Jura, one way or another, either saw or sensed what was happening with Konoha and Matsuri. He's well aware of exactly what happened.
Yep.
He's literally crying. Whether you want to say he's angry, I think we can say he was provoked in some way. Provoked emotionally.
Yeah, he knows what's physically happening more so than just Matsuri's emotions.
Yeah. And if that's the case, Jura, if he's already provoked, like he might be provoked, arguably provoked enough to just go there himself, with or without Boruto, to the point that if Boruto did just show up and leave, what's stopping him from just being bad at Konoha and killing? Or devouring or whatever.
So, you might disagree with this. I think this is also the explanation for how Jura was able to snipe Boruto at like the end of chapter 12 or whatever. I don't think Jura could just do that normally. I think it's only because Hidari was there and he was doing the same sensory thing that he was doing to Matsuri, whether that's seeing through the Rinnegan eye of the soul thorn or whatever he was doing. Maybe Matsuri's trees told him, but it's because Hidari was there is my theory for why he's able to snipe Boruto so accurately.
I mean, I don't have anything against the idea. It would be cool.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, whatever about him being 10 Tails, he does just have the normal Rinnegan, not Rene Sharingan or anything. So unless it's just a Jura specific thing, for some reason he'd be able to look far. I just don't think he should be able to do it. There you go.
Even the Rene Sharingan doesn't have that ability. Like, it's not a Byakugan. So it's just like, I agree with you. Because obviously with Pain shared vision, he would be able to do that. It's not because he's looking far. It's because he's just getting a shortcut. It's like, I don't have the analogy off the top of my head, but he's skipping 100 meters, basically. All right, next topic. We spent a long time on in fact, we spent the entire podcast on it. Okay.
I know.
Well, I guess what's as good as some of these panels I saw. These are just I was trying to clear out some. I'll share my screen.
Okay.
I was trying to clear out some of my tabs, and so I was just kind of like looking at what each tab was. I just saw that I had this chapter 16 translations one up. I was like, oh, might as well see if there's anything funny in here. These weren't all necessarily funny, but
And if you want to zoom in, since
I
it's
was like,
a little,
I will in a minute, but
okay.
I have a few of these just so you know.
I saw that.
So, did we ever talk about this translation? I know.
Look at how baggy Shikamaru's pants are, by the way. It's insane. Did Bro need to do laundry? Did he borrow Choji's pair?
Okay, so this was okay. So I actually just for comparison,
the
let me see what he
in my
says
brain get rusty is crazy.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, no, I thought it was funny. So let me see what he says in this. Muddles my thought. That's boring. I think Fizz changed this from when we first read it. I don't think he said muddles my thoughts when I first read this with this.
Unless Shueisha strikes that episode too, we can go pull that up.
Yeah, out of sorts. I thought he said looking at you makes my mind out of sorts or whatever, and I thought Ada just said the exact same thing. But muddles my thoughts. Well, this one says the gears of my brain get rusty when I look at you. And then she's like, but when the gears in your brain get all rusty, I thought it was funny. Okay, then there's this one. There's a rather troublesome one among that bunch. When I try to see something with my Senrigan, she ends up seeing me instead.
I can't wait for Power Scalers to say that means Mamushi's the strongest of them.
Yeah, but like, I just was interested. He ends up seeing me instead of just like, he's weird. And then it blows this one.
I love her ice cream swirl looking hair. I just say that. It's always so funny. Especially in the colored when it just is the color of ice cream or whatever. Ridiculous.
Okay, I guess it must have been this one. I told you can't ask questions. If they say they won't go along with it, then give them a plausible reason yourself. What? Why I say this? What did he say in this? I was just doing that. I was like,
don't ask me. Are you serious?
I don't know why. Okay, I don't know why I say that.
Okay.
Delete that one. Seems to be the same. I think this
the smallest force possible. That might be why. Because I was assuming you were imagining, like, rather than squad, you were imagining like someone like taps him with a kunai or something. Well, like he's the JJK season 2 guy that like swapped his strong and weak thing.
Take out his out with the smallest force possible.
But this was a panel, by the way. Okay, this is interesting talk about going back to the very beginning of the podcast. If Jura shows up, flee immediately. Do you think that still applies? Or like, hypothetically, if they never fought and Jura shows up, what are they going to say to excuse themselves in front of both Jura and Matsuri and Ryu?
Now I gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay, sure. But what about now that they are
Jura
fighting?
even show up anyway? Because Koji made it seem like he's only going to show up if Boruto shows up.
I think there's possible futures where he does, but I don't know, might. But let's just I mean, we don't know either way, so let's just hypothetically say he does show up before Boruto shows up. Are they still planning to flee immediately, and how would they try to do that? Would Ryu or Matsuri even let them? What would Jura's reaction be? Because I'm imagining it's the same as Minato's flee on site order, essentially. But
yeah,
it's like if he's already there, it's I don't know.
I love the other ones. Oh yeah, I was just saving this in case we didn't have the other laughing stock.
Okay.
Oh,
Please don't be true. What is this? Oh, I saw.
a connection between Sarada's MS and Boruto. Sarada, unlike weakest Mangekyo Sharingan for Boruto. This is the
Please don't do
swirls.
that.
I was like, please don't be true.
Stupid.
But I hate that he could be on or something.
Well, no, that reminds me of the same nonsense ridiculousness as the Obito Sarada parallel of the shot of like the camera looking up at the moon as the tree swirls around the moon, and the same for like Sarada's Mangekyo when Obito's at Ramen. It's like the same thing. If anything, that has more credence on this one. Just any swirl people point to is insane.
Okay. Do this here.
I want to go find some stupid like Mecha Naruto swirl or something to compare it there. Just to see what people will say.
So it probably is something. But
man, you're really having struggles deleting that message.
well, because there's that thing popped up.
I know. What even was that?
I don't know.
Okay. Oh, I thought this was funny. Ryu essentially completed the ninja's mission. Get their trust and betray them. So do you think that was intentional irony, or was that just like coincidental writing, or how do you think that played out in terms of reality? It's not really the same, but it's kind of... Well, it's close enough, but...
I mean, giving him the benefit of the doubt, I might say yes, because... So, when it comes to Konoha and Matsuri, they're both kind of going back and forth with this, like, being friendly, then kind of attacking the other person kind of thing. Although Konoha did more of the befriend betray, versus Matsuri's more just anger lashing out, but... Getting that back and forth, then I don't know, because like Matsuri didn't really do it the way Konoha did. But yeah, I have to agree that Ryu low-key just did their mission. But it's not that he befriended them, though. It's just that, but he tricked them into thinking that it was working.
I'm not gonna say Matsuri did it all the way, but I think if Matsuri reacted like that right off the bat, Konoha wouldn't have really been surprised. He was really caught off guard extra so because of how Matsuri had reacted up to that point.
Yeah.
Like, obviously he was uncomfortable being around her, but like, he was getting used to her in a weird way.
Yeah.
At least it was a change in demeanor that really caught him off guard there, but... Either way. So I think in terms of Ryu, assuming that the fourth wall break to where Ryu looks at the camera and essentially asks the audience, do you think they'll fall for it? When in reality, he's talking to Sarada, asking if Boruto's going to fall for it. He's asking the audience, do you think Sarada's going to fall for it?
Well, no, he's talking to himself. He said, let's see if they bite. He was talking to himself.
Well, sure, but you get the idea. Assuming that was intentional as a fourth wall break, then I'll give it to him. If it wasn't, then I won't. So I'll just lump it in with that.
Okay. Now then. Want to just read this for me?
Okay. V-Jump Magazine promotional page and latest weekly Shonen Jump. Translation. A life or death battle against aliens. Okay, do we want to pause there, quick, or?
well, I pause in a lot of places, but okay. First off, for everyone saying that they're not not just aliens, well, V-Jump disagrees. They're not tree alien. No, they're just aliens.
To be fair, this is probably some weird Japanese translation. It's probably saying foreign entity or unknown persons or something like that. It's probably translating it to aliens. That's my guess. Or maybe that's just what aliens means in Japan. I don't know, but that's gonna be my assumptions. Mysterious figure is alien. I don't know.
Yeah. So now the middle one's the most important one.
A change is happening inside Sarada?
A change? Did she not have the Mangekyo before?
Well, didn't activate it.
Like, I wouldn't say that there was a change in Sasuke's insides when he used the Mangekyo for the second time versus the first time he awakened it. Like, you could say he upgraded his abilities or whatever. That's a change, sure. But, like, so far she hasn't done that. She's just using it.
Okay, to be fair, I would say Sasuke changed the second time he used Sharingan.
It's kind of different though, because like he was like changing because he was being angry, hatred, amp, awakening things left and right.
Okay, I would not say he was angry hatred amp against Taku. I can see.
I'm talking about his Mangekyo, sorry.
I was talking about Haku. As opposed to the first time he awakened it during the Uchiha massacre.
You know what? It's funny just there's angry hatred amp on Haku. But anyway, special ability card revealed.
Well, real quick, on the change, I don't think they're referring to the Mangekyo. I think they're referring to the Yodo conversation, to be fair.
Oh, that makes me hate it even more.
I know, but
fuck Yodo. I don't want to look at this anymore.
To be fair, I'm not gonna hate V-Jump. I'm just gonna hate Ikimoto for doing it badly, but I think in concept it can work.
No, there's no cut. Just give it to Mitsuki. They're not gonna do anything with him anyway.
You're
anyone, right. But he can sense it with his sage power. He doesn't need to hear it. Like, fuck Yodo.
Oh, actually, zoom in on Mitsuki there. He actually looks really cool.
I agree.
You know what?
Ikimoto can't draw like that any other time.
I know. Like, what the heck?
I'm speaking of Yoda. Or, sorry. Yoda. Yep. Yodo.
Yeah? You can delete mine there too, by the way, at the Ryu essentially, blah, blah, blah.
Report?
You hated that message.
So,
here's why we
hearing Sarada's power is nonsense. Unlike Melody and Hunter x Hunter, who was consistently shown 1,000,000 times right from the get-go to be able to not only hear from a long distance, but also be able to hear and interpret people's emotions and thoughts via their heartbeats, Yodo doesn't have that. She's only shown the long-distance hearing stuff. It would be reasonable for Melody to interpret Sarada the way Yodo did based on Melody's character, like just hearing Sarada's heartbeat, interprets whatever, but not Yodo, because Yodo doesn't have a heartbeat interpretation, musical beat, musical knowledge, understanding of heartbeat. How can she even hear Sarada's power? If she can hear that, then how can she not hear Ryu's sinister evil plan to trick them all with the Thorn Soul? And how can she not hear Konoha nearly die around the corner? How could she not hear Araya's sword as the obvious solution to freeing Gaara? How could she not hear Ryu's iron sand before it trapped everyone? Her hearing is either that good or it's not. Not only for Sarada's power.
Okay.
Thoughts?
So, I'm going to attempt to defend it. And because you hate it, you're automatically going to...
Yep.
Okay, so here's my attempt. I'll emphasize, attempt. Here's my attempt. So, I don't think she was literally hearing. I think it's... Okay, it's similar to L in Death Note on his, like, final day of life, how he was hearing the bells. I think it's more of an intuition. L was incredibly smart, which is how he instinctively just knew that Light had won, he was about to die. As opposed to Yodo, who she's on the verge of death and she's taking it seriously. You could argue Ninshu chakra shenanigans. I think it's similar to Naruto, where he's like a hyperactive knuckleheaded ninja. But like, when you get down to the deepest, most seriousness thing ever, he can take things seriously and be mature. More so than like pretty much anyone, freaking on a spiritual level. So I think Yodo wasn't hearing. She was connecting on a spiritual level since she has feelings for Shinki. And
yeah, because Shinki's just like Kawaki, that's right. Everyone hates him.
But in this case,
world Shinki.
In this case, I think she's saying here because that's her ability, but I think it's like double speak, almost like nuance or whatever. Because I think it's more so that not like a mask, but she's saying that to like cover up like like a shielding herself from embarrassing herself. Basically, she doesn't want to like put herself all the way out there because that's just her personality. But she's still like doing it farther than she's ever gone before.
So, real quick. Okay. This is one of the dumbest things I could have ever said. So I'm gonna say it. If Yodo doesn't die, or at least is able to say a few more words before dying, I just thought of this. Remember when Neji said, Naruto, sometimes your eyes are even better than mine?
Yeah, Yodo,
I really want Yoda to say,
your ears are
sometimes your ears are even better than mine.
Okay, I'm down because it's the same thing as what Neji did. I'm down. It's cool because she doesn't literally mean the ears. It's going to be the same thing. Because it's similar in this case to Naruto versus Sasuke, to where the meme that we always say, but just coincidentally it just applies here. Naruto and Sasuke, even though they've never said it, you and I are friends. I can't believe Sasuke actually came right out and said it. Even though Naruto's already talked on the lifetime promise and the fact that the rest of the Sasuke retrieval squad has died trying to save Sasuke, Naruto still hasn't said that to Sasuke, but Sasuke came right out and said it. Even though they've never said it, Naruto couldn't believe it. Naruto still hasn't said it. I think it's similar here to where Naruto didn't say it. Even like he didn't come right out and say it because for the same reason he never said it up to that point. It's not like it's an embarrassment thing, but like it's not something you just say out loud. It's something. It's deep down. You have to dig deep down, and the farther you go to force someone into a corner, the more of their true selves they'll expose. Yodo's exposing more of her true self than she ever has before, but she's not all the way there yet. She hasn't come right out and said her true thoughts, but she is hinting at it. She's working a way around saying it. It's similar to like when you want to hear a story, but you don't want the person to know that you want to hear it. So you're like, yeah, well, you've already started saying it, so I guess I'll let you continue. Or you seem like you want to say it, so I guess I'll listen to it. Basically being like a yandere, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The problem, so my problem with that is that
Yeah.
that's all fine and dandy if you just make Sarada and Yodo have an actual, understandable, or reasonable, realistic, enjoyable, likable, every positive word you can think of, connection. Because all you get is, well, when the Sand Shinobi are laughing at Sarada, Yoda's just like, huh, your vibe's weird. You into a guy? And then next thing we know, I can hear this. You love Boruto. You're hiding your power for him because you don't use it for the greater good. Blah 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 blah. It's just like that's such a leap. Like you've never even talked to this girl before, and you're jumping to this. This can work if they spent, I don't know, like hypothetically, this would work better for a longer arc. I don't know how long this arc is going to go for, but like, I don't know. For example, Hunter x Hunter, I'm about the Chimera Ant arc. That's a pretty long arc. And if Yodo was just like, imagine if Yodo was just like Gon, Killua, and Yodo, but now it's Sarada, Mitsuki, and Yodo. They're just with Kite, beginning until the end. And then at the end of the arc, the palace invasion, Yodo's dying and saying this shit. Okay, you've spent this entire arc actually being with Sarada. You know, I'm fine with that. But you've been there for 5 minutes, bro. How have you even talked to each other? Like you had 1 2-second conversation about Sarada's vibing. That's not enough. So your only way around it is Yodo hears it with her ears. It's just stupid.
Okay. Again, my attempt. I already know what you're gonna say to hate this, but I'm just gonna attempt to say things anyways. So again, my argument was never that it wasn't more significantly so. It's to say that both of them weren't all that. At least that's what other people like to say anyways.
So you're just wrong.
I don't think a week or two is that long in comparison to like how long normal friendships would be for that level in normal anime or whatever.
Perhaps, but in the Naruto universe, all I'm saying is that the one afternoon, the not even just the one afternoon. Okay, freaking Naruto and Inari at least had like long, heartfelt conversations with each other and shit. Yeah, Zara and Yoda barely talked before this moment.
Like they have history, okay? They've gone back for 3 years now. They've known each other. Probably
Not in the
4.
manga.
In the manga,
Talked in
she
the
has the
manga.
tuning exams fight, right? They still do that in the manga?
No. She doesn't fight. Sarada doesn't fight Yodo. Shikadai does.
In the tuning exams? Oh yeah, who does Sarada fight in the tuning exams?
Araya. And Araya's not the one on the ground talking to her.
Not in the movie. She fights Yodo in the movie. Because she one-shots, I remember.
She fights Araya.
Can you pull that up?
Actually, no. She fights a cloud ninja.
Pull it up.
First.
It's a girl. Pull it up. You can just search it on YouTube.
It's the cloud ninja. Mitsuki, Boruto, and Sarada all fight cloud ninja first.
I want to see this. I don't want to see the anime because I know in the anime it is.
I know. That's
okay.
Searching.
Want to make sure.
But she just one-shot the cloud ninja. Pretty sure.
I'm just going to not show it until you get there. But that should be.
Wait
fine.
a minute.
Hey, is this the movie? It starts with Hashirama? Tobirama?
It's like...
Did I walk in after the opening of the movie?
I was confused. I was like, hold on, where's the shooting Sims fight? What is all this other stuff? Oh, wait.
Oh, was that it? Yeah.
See, Cloud Ninja Girl.
Okay. Where is Yes? She looks strikingly like Yoda. What's her name? Hold on. It's on the left because the right name was Sarada. Let's see what her name is. Oh no, the left name is Sarada. The right name, Tarui? Look up Tarui. Let's see who this is. Is she in the anime or manga anywhere else? Well, obviously not the manga, but is she in the anime anywhere?
Tarui.
Who is Tarui?
Oh yeah, okay. She's black.
She is.
Yoda is not.
Listen, Yoda was using a transformation.
Blonde hair, it doesn't mean that like.
It's Yoda's secret ability. She's using transformation. Man, this whole time I thought it was Yoda. That would have been so cool. So they just.
But the movie doesn't do anything with the sand trio there. Like,
wait, who does Yoda fight?
It's all anime. Like,
who does
the
Yoda
movie,
fight?
like Shinki one shots Metal Lee, and that's all you get.
Yeah, who does Yoda fight?
It's off screen one shot too.
God, who does Yoda fight?
No, we don't know. They don't fight in the movie.
In the anime, I mean, who does Yoda fight in the anime?
Oh, first, maybe I think it might be Inojin. Maybe.
Oh my god! No wonder we don't remember.
Chocho fights Shinki.
Yeah.
I think Inojin might fight Yodo before Shikadai does. Shikadai fights. Who? But then again, who does Araya fight? No, Araya fights Inojin. Actually, I think. Yeah. Araya fights Inojin.
Okay.
Who the hell does Yodo fight?
Does Yodo fight Mitsuki and Mitsuki wins?
No, because Shikadai beats her. I'm pretty sure.
Well, then wouldn't that be it? Shikadai beat Yodo?
Oh, maybe she just loses first round and it's tough fight. Maybe that's what it was.
Probably. What does she do in that fight?
Because then start a second round Araya, Mitsuki's is Shinki, Boruto's is Shikadai. So yeah, I guess that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Sarada just hasn't talked to Yodo ever.
Isn't here.
So Sarada and Yodo have never talked. Is that it?
Yeah, they literally haven't talked before this mission, bro.
Oh my god. I take it back, bro. That's insane.
Even in the anime, like if they have talked, it's like the most, hey, when they're seen, we're really talking to Shinki kind of situation. Like, they don't talk, they don't fight, they don't do anything.
It's gonna be like Hinata and Sasuke's scene talking together.
Yeah. Like,
Sasuke, shut up. That's it.
If it even exists, I don't know if they've ever been on screen together.
Oh my god. Okay, I wish I didn't know that. That disappointed me.
But I'm telling you, like, unironically, I think Yogo might be the character I'm most annoyed with in Blue Vortex.
Like, even if it was true, it wouldn't have really been much at all, but it at least would have been something.
I agree.
Oh my god, I was banking on that too. That was the one saving grace. That was my life raft keeping me afloat in a sea of nothing.
Well, it's also extra interesting that she's even saying that Sarah's vibes changed. It's like, girl, you don't know Sarah's vibe. Even in the anime, all you have to work with is her fight with Araya. That's not really giving you her vibe in terms of day-to-day vibes. Like what she's like when she's not in a fight. That's all you've ever seen. And that's anime only. In the manga, it's like, bro, you don't know her vibe. You've never met her.
Well, to be fair, Kamui, in part 1, Sarada and Yodo never said anything to one another.
So they're best friends.
Exactly.
Even though we've never met.
I love how we've just taken that line and transformed it into something else completely. Like the opposite meaning of what it really is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the less they say something. Okay, this is funny. You mean the Hokage building?
Yes. But that's not the
funny
point.
That you said that building to the far left.
So you know what I am talking about.
I know because I looked to the far left and saw that. I was like, it's just funny that you didn't say, why is the Hokage?
Okay, well, to be fair, this image just makes no... That's not where the Hokage building is. That's not where it is in Konoha. It's to the right. It's not
thought it'd be
there.
a little bit more with the statues. But...
Yeah, it's more like where Minato's head is, if anything. Or Tsunade's even. Like, they didn't just rebuild it to the left.
Okay, so I got 2 answers for you. One, everyone's in bed.
Well,
so
no. Click on it. Click on the image and zoom in. Okay. See how bright it is. Now, look at the houses. The lights are on. Like, all the lights are on in the houses, to the left and to the right. If you scroll to the right, the lights are on. They don't look like that. Scroll to the right.
So, okay, you got me there. I'm still going to say it because this could have been a cool answer. So I'm going to say it.
Okay.
I think I know your answer. So, assuming these lights are off, it's nighttime and everyone's in bed. But Naruto is still awake doing Hokage work all night long to show that he's, like, putting so much effort into being Hokage. Like, he's staying up all night doing Hokage work.
Yeah.
However... Mike just said the lights are off, so it's just this one's bright. So here's the other answer. The will of fire is making this light extra bright.
Well, I have another answer for you. What if Minato came back to life and is showing Naruto the flash to white
jutsu?
I like how we reference that more than like Kabuto's actual flashbang ability at the end of the series. You know, Kabuto, the one who's actually in the village. Oh my god. Yeah, it's... By the way, okay, zoom in on it again. Up there? Zoom in on it again. So, Toby Rama's statue, slightly, kind of from this angle, from this distance, looks like Tintel's Madara. Kinda. You see it, right? You totally see it.
There are 2 peas in a pod. Okay. I guess you can say this thing.
Okay, well, real quick, let's go back to Yodo since I did have more to say on her. So, okay, I agree. One afternoon isn't a lot of time, but to be fair, I do want to emphasize it's still
they haven't even talked in this afternoon, bro. Like the rest of the mission leading up to it, they're not talking. In fact, they separate from them when they're talking to Ryu at first. Like Yodo is interacting with Sarada for that 1-2 line conversation. Their vibe's different.
Look. I just want to say, they meet and then they spend time together off screen before then we catch up with them later on in the afternoon to where Konohama's like, so you guys know the mission, right? They spent an indiscriminate amount of time. It was probably over an hour together. And that sounds like it's not a lot of time. Kamui, I want you to right now sit still and say, no. We've been doing this podcast for probably around the same amount of time as Yodo and our Sarada were together.
And we probably talked 100 billion times more than they did. But even then, so let's just say off screen, they spent a whole month together. It's one of those things where, like, yeah, that would be enough time. But, like, as a reader of a story, we, the audience, aren't experiencing any of that time together. So it doesn't mean anything to us. Like, we're not feeling that connection because we didn't get it. Even if it's technically there, and obviously it's not even actually that 1 month time. It literally is this ambiguous afternoon. For all we know, as far as we're aware, Matsuri Konohamaru, or Matsuri and Ryu were already there when they met up, meaning they just talked about the mission for 5 minutes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Listen. I acknowledge.
We don't know.
I acknowledge it was a small amount of time that they spent together, but at the same time, I don't want to use that to underestimate the time they spent together.
But it's like all we've seen of their time together is not much at all. It's nothing.
Okay. But to be fair, they don't have to talk to one another to bond because they're girls bonding over guys. And as we've seen with Sarada, Sumire, and Ada, that means a lot to girls. And Kamui, you just can't relate because you're a guy.
But they weren't because Sarada wasn't talking about it. She just didn't say anything.
Well, yeah, but that's how girls bond. You know, the girls are less communicative.
No, that's not even true, actually.
Well, think about girls with gossip. It's more about what you don't say that's important than what you do.
That's not how gossiping works. That's what you do say. It's how you backstab talk about other people.
I'll try. Listen, girls are more beating around the bush. You know that Cam says that guys don't pick up on hints, whereas girls do. Well, that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. See, we're just guys, so we're too direct and to the point and on the nose, and we like getting stuff across.
No, but whereas you can say in terms of Yodo picking up on Sarada's, business going on, that's still not going to bond them if they don't proceed to actually talk about it. Like Yodo's not going to be close to Sarada because she notices that she's into a guy and that they don't talk about it.
It's a relatability thing. Plus, I don't think Yodo has to be close to Sarada to pick up on Sarada things.
Well, if you're gonna make a plot point that she's not literally hearing it with her head, she's under level, then yeah, no, they got it.
Well, but the reason for that is because Yodo understands herself, and she's associating Sarada to herself through this one aspect that they can relate in. It's similar. Okay. I got it. It's similar to the fact that Naruto, you don't have any brothers or siblings. How could you possibly understand what it's like to lose all that? And then at the very end of the series, Naruto's like, when I look at you, Sasuke, I just ... hurt. It's because Naruto knows that Sasuke's hurts, that Naruto also feels pain as well.
Yes, I understand and agree with concepts that you're saying. Like, as we've already discussed, Shinki and Boruto are nothing alike. That kind of undermines this comparison.
Well,
Shinki's not
Naruto and
someone
Sasuke
who
weren't
will-
exactly alike either. But it's not the differences; it's the similarities they shared that allowed
the only
Naruto to
similarity
relate,
that Shinki have is that they're men.
and that Sarada and Yodo respectively have a crush on them.
Yeah, so, but then at that point, Sarda could have liked anyone, and she could just say that. So it's something.
Yes, I agree.
It's quite bad.
Okay, but I'm really running low on things to say here. But okay. Think about it like this. Boruto is building off of the Naruto series. It's like the next generation. It's surpassing the Naruto series in ways. So it's building off of that. It's not just a sequel, it's a continuation, an extension of Naruto and the themes thereof. Remember, Land of Waves, Sasuke protected Naruto from Haku. Sasuke, why did you do that? I don't know why. At least Yodo's saying more than that.
Bro, Sasuke drew why. Yodo didn't do that. I don't have a panel of 30 panels.
But he didn't say it out loud.
Showing why.
Well, no, I'm actually glad you're pointing that. If you want to pull that up, I did actually want to talk about that. Because I do think these two scenes are somewhat parallelly in ways. In fact, I would rewrite the scene. Instead of Ryu doing the hostage situation, basically, I wish Yodo more so chose to sacrifice herself to protect Sarada, knowing what she's sacrificing. Yodo is giving up. Basically, Yodo pulled an Obito, giving up. Obito gave up his chance to live a life with Rin in order to protect Kakashi, who Rin loved. Yodo isn't doing the love triangle, but Yodo's sacrificing her opportunity to save Shinki in order to save Sarada because Sarada loves someone who Yodo doesn't know. But the point is that Sarada loves someone, and Yodo can't stand the possibility of doing, like, Yodo couldn't help herself but to move because of that.
I agree. That's infinitely better than what we got.
Yeah, so I think Yodo should have chose to either sacrifice herself or to save Sarada, rather than just being like, take me, Ryu, I'll help you, and then Ryu just basically backstabbing her and just, that's taken away her choice in the matter anyways. Like, just she wasn't fast enough to dodge. That's not Yodo choosing anything.
Exactly.
That's the problem there.
What you said was so much better.
Yes. But what I will say here, to be fair, they're like intentionally taking out the words of the dialogue panels from the 30 different scenes that they are showing here. But I think this is hilarious. You're going to laugh, but just hear me out because I'm serious when I say this. I think you could have done something similar with Yodo. To where Yodo's on the ground and she has the panel of Sarada and Yodo's fight with Ryu together with like 30 different panels, and it's it's gonna be every instance where Yodo noticed this in Sarada, the thing that she's pointing out. Okay, because it's not the fact that they're saying it, it's the point of it's the thing that was left unsaid, but that doesn't mean it wasn't there the whole time. Even though Naruto and Sasuke never said it, if that doesn't mean retroactively they were friends, no, they were friends the whole time as we were watching it, even though it was revealed in the Sasuke retrieval fight that they were friends. But the whole time, through analysis, we could tell, we knew they were friends. In the same way, we could tell Yodo and Sarada had a chemistry. There was still something left unsaid. They wanted to say it, but they didn't say it. In the same way, if you remember, in the war arc, whenever Jubito, I should say, is making Naruto give up, and then Ino, like, transmits Naruto's memories onto the Alliance, Naruto's first memories when he's in the academy and he sees Kid Sasuke walking away, and Naruto like reaches his hand out as Yamagasumi Mountain Haze, the soundtrack plays, and then Naruto just doesn't go, and he regrets that later on. I'm imagining it's something similar with Yodo and Sarada here, to where Yodo had something to say, but she didn't say it, but she's saying it now, but she's not going all the way and saying it, just like how here, Sasuke isn't going all the way and saying it either.
Okay. So,
yeah.
Yes. Okay, let's say a couple things. Your earlier of the choosing to save Sarada like from Ryu thing is definitely still better. And I'll say this. Whereas this might be over the top ridiculous for Sarada and Yodo, I will concede that would still be infinitely more impactful than what we got.
Okay.
I would have rathered them do that. Play up the absurdity of this nonsense, but at least then it just feels more impactful. And so I would still gladly take it over one.
Because I will say, this panel, what chapter is this? This panel happens pretty early on in the series, to be fair.
27 or 8.
27 or 8. Okay. This is like, it's chapter 21 of Two Blue Vortex. To be fair, it's monthly. To be fair, Yodo came in chapter, 18? So it's not the same at all. It doesn't count. They definitely haven't had a lot of moments together. It's not the same at all. They've one afternoon. I think the real thing that makes it ridiculous isn't the amount of time for the audience or the amount of time they spent together. Well, it is the amount of time they spent together in universe. Because all these different panels that Sasuke is thinking of is over the course of a lot of time for them, over the course of a lot of different scenes. If Yodo did have 30 different panels from this one single scene, this one fight over the course of the past 10 minutes, she's imagining that's ridiculous, because she's imagining the scenes back to back in order, basically just as they played out. Where Sasuke's imagining everything here. But literally would have been a recap, yeah. So, but that's the reason it'd be ridiculous, even if it would be technically, in technicality, conceptually, it should be just as impactful, because every one of the panels would have practically as much meaning. It would just be so close together that the panels might as well just be the manga at that point. Point out.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's the problem.
I think, fundamentally, they've had a lot of moments, quote-unquote, together in the Ryu fight. I'll leave it to the anime to flesh it out. Maybe that's what Ikimoto knew. Maybe he's leaving it to the anime to flesh it out, so you can get to the bullet points of the story. So the anime, yeah, you get you get the idea. That's
everything that this story does. The bullet points.
I liked it when Kodachi did it, and I hate the fact that the anime ruined it.
Well, the difference with Kodachi is that whereas, yes, some things you could argue he moved too fast and you could have spent more time with Kara, blah, blah, blah. But that while he is moving along like that, everything he is doing is engaging, is interesting, and the story itself doesn't feel like it's overly missing something incomplete. It is complete. Even if you want more from some things, it stood on its own. Whereas some of the other stuff, it's there's just no Yodo Sarada interaction. There's just nothing for a lot of these things. It's just they didn't do anything. Period. Gene, Kamui, there's just nothing there. So it's not a matter of moving too quick. Isn't anything in the first place.
Whereas you and I couldn't recall a single scene of Minato or Pain furrowing their eyebrows downwards at a slanted position to show that they're focused or whatever. Similarly, I can't recall specifically a scene of Kodachi doing the thing to where he's leaving it to the anime, but you know that it's there. I know it's there. Similarly, it's the same with Yodo and Sarada, but I'm going to say it was there in the Ryu fight, even if I can't remember it.
Well, I can say, in terms of leaving it to the anime?
I was saying two different things there, so I don't blame you for being confused. Leaving it to the anime for the first thing, and the scenes being there that I can't recall for the second thing.
Okay. What scenes in general do you refer
between Sarada and Yodo for however they're bonding? or wherever Yoda would be recognizing this in Sarada. The fact she's holding back or
Bro,
whatever.
I'll tell you, they ain't there. The fight itself's just not doing it. It's only the only scene is the beginning of the mission.
If anything, instead of Mitsuki looking over at Sarada, giving her the side eye and seeing her as sus, it should have been Yoda every single time.
I agree. Because it's not like Mitsuki is saying anything about it here. So
Yeah, I mean, they hyped up Mitsuki as the MVP just to ruin him anyways. At least keep our expectations low.
I also want to see. I tried to look for it. I couldn't find what Kitamaki's Araya reaction feed thing is. So I want to know what that was because I'm on board for trashing it. So
Okay.
I just need to know what the feed is.
That's fair. Well, I did send you those timestamps, but I tried to go back to his live stream, but I think he either unlisted it or made it members only or whatever. So
okay, so the stream that you sent me,
the stream I sent you was Cloud Ninja Podcast, but he like recaps it the next day concisely and better in his stream, but I can't find it, so he like unlisted it or something.
Done.
We could just ask him for it though, but whatever.
Yeah.
Either way. Did we want to call it there, or did you have more? Or
I probably should call it there, but I always have more.
Well, okay. This is ridiculous. I'm going to look up Magic 8 Ball. And I'll share my screen, so you know I'm not lying, but I need you to stop sharing your screen.
I walked away from my computer. Is there a way for you to forcefully unshare my screen?
I could report problem. Oh my god, Kitamaki's literally here. Invite to speak. Jeez.
Okay.
Can't believe that.
Okay, hold on. We'll let him share his screen. I'll go downstairs.
Thank goodness. Hopefully he's actually
So
here.
Show us.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't joined yet, so maybe he's not actually here.
Well, hopefully he is.
That can be how we end stream.
Okay, I like that. I'm totally down.
Okay, stop streaming.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Keto, join.
Keto.
If you're there, do it.
Join.
Here, I'll even text him. Okay. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. Should we end stream? Question mark. Shake 8 Ball. My sources say no. Well, there you go. Now we gotta wait for Keto. Thank you, Magic 8 Ball.
Okay.
So stupid. Well, while we're waiting, Roach said, "Ew, ood." I don't know why. Okay. Anyway, I have no idea.
Why did you do that to him? Why did you make him go in?
Anyways, let's go back to Boruto topics. Let's remove that. Boruto on V-Jump cover. The art looks fire. And I don't know if this is new, but I saw it. So I took it, screenshot its case. So shout out Store Master for sharing it. Did you see this? This is like a news segment kind of worthy thing. It's on V-Jump. I don't know if it's always on V-Jump or if it's like sometimes and it's like a special occasion, but pretty cool. I do like the art. Boruto and Kawaki. It kind of reminds me of Naruto and Sasuke back to back. All those like Shippuden design image poster things. Except, you know, they're not back to back, but Boruto's back, but Kawaki's just looking forward randomly. Actually, no, I changed my mind. Kawaki just looks bad in his face. It's a weird looking Kawaki face. Like his eyes are odd. Look at he's made out of Play-Doh, like he's wearing makeup. Is it like K-pop audition? Looks like he's blushing. You know, like lipstick. Ah, it's weird. Boruto looks good though. Either way. Let's be jump. By the way, if you're talking, I cannot hear you. Oh my god. I did the thing again. Kamui. Oh my god. I did the thing again.
Where you lost Wi-Fi?
No, I opened an image, and for some ungodly reason, that just closed my Discord, I guess. I don't know why.
I
But
thought you lost Wi-Fi.
I explained the image. It was pretty cool. Don't know how much of that you heard, but probably none of it.
I heard absolutely none of it.
Okay, well, Boruto had a V-jump cover, and Boruto looks good, and Kawaki doesn't. Did it do it again?
Did it again.
Yeah, it did it again. I'm just not going to open images anymore. It's just broken. So, just going to delete that image. It's cursed. Oh, okay, well. Yeah, I'm not going to open images anymore. That's ridiculous.
I was like, immediately was like, yeah, I think you did it again.
I can't believe it. No more images. Discord's broken with images now. Just can't do it. Okay. So
nothing from Keto?
Nothing from Keto yet. Well, I guess we'll go a little bit. Well, with that being the case, Keto, what do you think?
About what exactly?
But Sage Mitsuki versus Araya's reaction beats.
So, Keto, if you will kindly share your screen and succinctly go over it like you did in that one stream that I think you either unlisted or turned to members only.
Go over what?
Sage Mitsuki versus Araya's reaction feats.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
Because Oodie mentioned that you
Oh.
found something, and I just wanted to know what it was.
what it was.
Well, your
what was
Bara
that again?
debate was like way too long for Kamui to actually sit through, and your stream where you like recapped it even better in like 15 minutes just isn't public. So
Oh,
so hoping you could
what
do it
was the
again.
argument again?
Oh my god. Well, we were hoping you could tell us.
Bruh.
Well, the
Maybe it's too
argument was that Araya had better reaction feats than Sage Mitsuki, but I don't know what the evidence was. Like when that happened.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can pull it up on your end.
Oh, I was hoping that
the
you could share
chapter.
your screen so you could just like go to wherever you need to.
Yeah, because we don't know what when
kinda
exactly.
Well, Keto, let me
What?
explain to you why it's better this way. Just through an
Working on
analogy.
something.
So, Keto, I have this knock knock joke that I'm working on. It's really good, but I need you to start it. So go ahead.
Mm,
Go ahead. Well, how do you start a knock knock joke?
knock,
Who's there?
kiddo.
You see why this doesn't work in concept because you don't know the joke. So it doesn't work.
No.
That's exactly it. Exactly.
I'm so confused.
Yeah,
well, I
exactly.
get what
That's
you're saying.
what I'm
It's
saying.
like you need to show us because we like it's like okay, so I've never read or
Hold
watched
on.
Bleach. If you tell me to go look for the chapter when Ichigo fights Aizen, I don't know when that is. You need to show me.
Alright, let me see something here. Which chapter is it?
We were
Chapter
hoping you
20?
could tell us. Probably chapters 18, 19, or 20.
18, 19, and 20? Oh, good thing I can pull these up here for free. That's great. Alright, let's see if this will work here. How do I share screen?
Through the bottom left share screen. Oh, just the screen button. On Discord?
Oh, okay, there it is. Okay.
All
This
right,
is
and
frame
once you get that going, I will go
resolution.
to the bathroom. But that's once you get
You
it
might as well
going.
just hold it. That's gonna be the end of stream.
True. Okay, fine. That's fine.
'Cause I'm actually like hour and a half later than I originally planned on. Planned on being asleep an hour ago.
Well, to be fair, that's all Keto's fault.
Well, no, it's just it's all of our faults. But
I know. I was being unfair there. Which
I
is
think
half
we
the
should
joke.
blame it on Iki Mode.
Wait, what is this showing here? Is this
It's
showing
showing
the
the Discord, not the manga.
bro, how does this work? Hold on. Let me stop.
Do you
it.
have Windows or Mac?
Mac?
Okay, Kamui, you explain it.
Well, usually I just hit share screen, and then there's a thing that says a bunch of stuff, and you hit this blue make selection button, and then at the top right I have share entire screen, which is what I do.
Make a selection button. It doesn't give me that option. Hold on, let's see.
Share entire screen anywhere in
okay.
the top.
Okay, I see it. Okay, that's how it works. Interesting.
There we go. Shout out Moeg.
Mm. Awesome.
Okay.
All right. So where did hold on.
Oh, we
I remember
addressed
for
that
this one.
community poll meme that you posted earlier. You know, the one that basically turns Mitsuki into Sakura?
It's wax, bro.
It is.
Mitsuki is garbage,
It
man.
hurts
So
my
sad.
soul. The worst thing ever.
And hold on, where did we start from? Where did I start from to make the argument? Let's see. Is
We
it
were
this
hoping
one?
you could tell us.
There was a feat where he did some. I think it was 20 then. It wasn't this one.
I think so.
Let's see. Yeah.
Well, hey, it's the chapter
So
that got us banned. Let's go to the red filter. Okay, you're good.
At
you
least in this
guys
case,
get
we're not
banned
going
for
through the whole.
reading chapters.
We didn't
Damn.
get banned.
I've never had that issue. I don't know. Alright, so this is it right
don't.
here.
What was that one argument Bara was making? The wind style sandstorm blast. It was because of its
Yeah.
name. It was meant to blast
Yeah.
sandstorms or something.
It was meant to negate. He was making multiple different
I
arguments,
know.
but
Like the one towards the end really was getting under your nerves. I could tell. It was something along the lines of the
yeah,
attack that hit Yodo. It wasn't just the obvious one. It was the sand particles in the air that we can't see.
yeah, that was so random. That was so. I don't know, man.
It
That
was
was
like, we don't
crazy.
know. It could have been. It's like, bro.
But this one right here, so pretty much what I was saying here is that Araya reacted to the sound, right? The sound is you shooting the sound towards Araya. And Araya, he reacted to it, formed hand signs, fired an attack, and basically the sand overpowered the wind style jutsu. The bar did say that it negated it. I think it changed it to say that it just affected it. So kind of like veered it off course. So when you get to this part right here where it looks like he's kind of tilted, because in the first one here is kind of straight upwards, but in this one here his hands are down and he's kind of tilted to the side, really.
So real quick,
But
Keto,
instead
on the
yeah.
on Bara's argument of why it negated it or affected it or whatever, because it's the wind style sandstorm blast, and he's saying because the name is what matters there, it's clearly meant to blast sandstorms or whatever. You should have said, oh, so then does the fire style phoenix flower jutsu, does it fire flower phoenixes?
I could have said that. I think what I said was that I went back to the prior chapter where if you follow the narrative itself, it implies that what negated the sound was the sword. And
Yeah,
after he got rid of the sword, there wasn't anything else. And the characters
Yeah,
themselves
my
Exactly.
argument's
confirmed
going to
it.
be okay if it negates the sand, he doesn't need the sword in the first
exactly.
place.
Exactly.
Because
Right?
it doesn't make
So
sense. This is
yeah,
a wind style jutsu. It's not magnet style.
exactly. But because the issue is that it said sand in the name, so that's why Bar thought that it
No,
negated sand. So
ridiculous. But anyway,
yeah. But yeah, he reacted to it, by having time to form hand signs, fire the jutsu, and tilted here, which I think is what he did.
I
Of
agree.
course, he didn't get out of the way fully because he still got,
Yeah, I thought he
slashed
just
right
like
here.
mostly dodged, but not enough.
Yeah.
Like he got
Exactly.
scratched. But
Yeah. And then we get over to the Mitsuki feat right here. To be honest, I think this right here is a non-feat. I don't think this means anything. Based on Ryu's movements here, he doesn't seem bothered. He doesn't seem like he's
Yeah.
being pressured. His hand is still in his pockets,
Exactly.
Well, pocket, one hand. You can look at it, the expression on his face. He's totally fine. He the thing is, we were arguing bars that some people just believe that whenever you're in a fight and a character does something, it means they have to do it, right? That's why I brought up the argument where I said that no, did when Madara dropped the meteor, did he have to do it? Did they pressure Madara to drop the meteor
Yeah,
to
was
kill them
Madara
in the
forced
war,
to do
or did
it?
it was he forced to do it? No, he did it because he can do it. And we can, and I think we went back to the prior chapters as well, where Ryu does the same thing where he didn't need to, and even later on in this chapter where he didn't do it when he could, where Sarada is there and he's like, controlling everyone else. He could have controlled Sarada, he just chooses not to. Even right here, he could have controlled Mitsuki, but he just chose to control Ryu,
Yeah, well,
to block the attack, to play with
Ryu's
Mitsuki.
sadistic. He likes baiting and playing with his food. He likes to hunt. He's similar to
Exactly.
Code.
Exactly. I think that's what I was trying to. That's the argument I was trying to make to
Mhm.
Bar as well. For that fee. But this one right here, I think this is what you guys are referring to.
Yeah.
So I think this right here, I think Bar's argument, I think you had to through multiple because I think it's two things, right? That's that. Why didn't Mitsuki one, block the attack, or two, dodge the attack, right? Because if you look at it right here, Ryu pulls Araya from the side to interrupt the snakes. And the snake is on panel here in the first page right here. The first, panel right here. We see that Mitsuki reacts to this and he stops the snakes, right? And we know this because you can see the wiggle lines around the snakes to show that they've come to a sudden stop before he hits, Araya. And Araya's not Araya, I mean, yeah, Araya, but Ryu's sand or Ryu's sand hasn't left his vicinity. It's still above him
Yeah.
whilst Mitsuki's snake has already stopped, right? So Mitsuki isn't in the progress in the progress of attacking him or so the process of attacking him or something, right? Then he fires the sun towards him. The sun then hits Mitsuki, which means that Ryu blitz Mitsuki from the distance that he was. And we know it's a good distance because
it's even
this is
farther
where
than
they
the
were.
other distance
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
Ryu jumped back.
Because we see this distance right here, then he jumps backwards multiple times, right? To show that he's creating even more distance between them. And I tried to point that out to Bar as well. But say yeah, more distance between him and Araya was able to react to the sand twice, but Mitsuki wasn't able to react even once. And I think Bar's argument that he went into was Mitsuki's mental state. So it's like saying that it's different from the Araya thing because Mitsuki is trying to protect someone when Araya wasn't.
Yeah, you should be
Um
stronger. Did you
Exactly.
watch Naruto? That's when you're at your strongest.
yeah, but and it's like saying I think he was trying to say he was distracted or something. I'm like, the attack is coming from directly in front of him. It's not like he put Araya in front of him then tried to attack him from behind or to the side. No,
Well,
the
not
attack is
no.
coming from the same direction, right?
Even then, he's in sage mode. You know the thing that's
Yeah.
famous for godly sensory abilities.
Yeah, and even that, even the chakra snakes themselves, it kind of argued that it hindered Mitsuki. I'm not sure why, because they're chakra snakes. They can just be deactivated immediately. And he has his hands. His hands, they're not doing anything. So that's why I brought up the argument. I said, like, yo, why didn't he react to it and, similar to Araya, fire the sun, the wind shit? Why did Mitsuki fire his wind ability or his lightning ability that can work? It's kind of funny since he never uses it the entire fight, which we know, the lightning is kind of effective
Well, no,
against Iron Sand.
I'll rewrite this scene right now to make it better. He uses the lightning attack on Ryu. Ryu sucks Araya towards him, and so he uses the substitution jutsu and takes the attack for Araya because he's a Chad and he's gonna be kind. There you go. Mitsuki gets hit, and it makes more sense. It is better.
And it wasn't even Ryu.
Exactly.
Ryu needed Mitsuki to take out Mitsuki. Ryu couldn't even do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. He has to use underhanded tactics and trick them. That's just better.
Yeah, but instead he had him get blitzed for no reason. He's just standing there, sees the sand coming, doesn't move, doesn't dodge, doesn't block the attack with any of his attacks or his hands or something. He just stands there and gets blitzed, right? So I don't know how this is a better fit, So that's why we kind of had the argument and went back and forth the entire night,
Just remember, Araya, the puppet master jutsu guy, just remember that he's faster than he's over a speed blitz over Boruto era Orochimaru. Just remember that. The puppet master.
Boruto era Orochimaru, who
student.
made Naruto need Sage Mode to be even around him. Strongest person in the world.
Yeah, I remember that in the
Beating up
novels.
Remember Orochimaru was just Mr. Thanos snap. He's just bodying Victor, Kara, and Araya. Raya is over a speed blitz tier, over Orochimaru. He's a puppet master, by the way, who doesn't use his puppets anymore because he Komodo forgot.
And one of the arguments I think Bara brought up as well was that the reason why he didn't use an attack to block the attack itself, like a wind star or something, is because he didn't want to affect Araya, right? And it's like we got into the argument.
If anything,
about,
they would blow the sand off.
Exactly, because he even used the distance. Because the reason why I brought it up is because I was trying to use his own argument against him, because he said earlier that when Araya used the wind style stuff, it weakened the Iron Sand. So I'm like, why did Mitsuki just weaken the Iron Sand with his wind style,
Or even
but then he's like,
if that weakened the Iron Sand is weakened then. This is after that fact, like immediately after.
Yeah, this is weaker Iron Sand.
Yeah.
Still speed blitzing.
Yeah, because everything is happening very quickly. So I don't know, man. It's like he doesn't. For some reason, his attack is gonna affect Araya when Araya is way over here. Again, he pulled him in directly in front of him. This is how close he is to Ryu, and Ryu is not even like a good distance in front of Mitsuki. This is the distance initially. Then he jumps backwards even more. So Araya is way over here. You're telling me that Mitsuki can't just use a wind style ability or some lightning ability that
Just
doesn't
jump out of
affect
the
Araya?
way.
That's way over here, right? It's just silly, So yeah, that was pretty much it.
I don't think.
And this showed right here.
I don't think. Yeah, exactly. It's awful. Freaking transforming out of Super Saiyan for being hit. Basically, it's I think what Bara's whole problem was he's not looking at the sequential order of events. He's seeing it like all is happening at the same time rather than one after another, specifically the page above this. And that along with because he's not considering the fact that the snakes were stopping or the fact that Ryu sent his Iron Sand after that. He's seeing it as all as like together as one thing rather than two separate things.
No,
the second problem I think Bara was having is that he's seeing this more similarly for some reason, I don't understand why, but similarly to the Hanzo, Yahiko, Nagato situation of like, let me kill you or this person dies, but that just wasn't the case ever at all. So Mitsuki had no reason to stand still and take that attack for no reason. So
yeah. It just everything just indicates a perception blitz.
Exactly. So what I will say, what I wanted to argue against Bara based on your debate, and hopefully I'll get to talk to Bara about this soon anyways. Why is this happening? when in the Land of Waves, very first arc of Naruto, the backbone, the core of the entire series, Sasuke was able to protect the unconscious Naruto from Haku, who is targeting and attacking him.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
Ridiculous.
It is. And even the sensing thing that you guys brought up, like, you should be able to react to it. It's like a sage mode thing. Like Mitsuki's sage mode is so weird. I don't know if you guys remember the I think what chapter was it? I think it was 18, I believe, when Araya turned into sand. And they had to rely on Yodo to sense
Yeah, they're right to hear the sand.
Yeah.
to hear the sound when they have a sage mode user that should be able to tell them exactly where Araya is. It's not like he's disintegrating like out of existence. He's still there on the battlefield. They just can't see him, right? So Mitsuki should be able to tell where he is, where most of his chakra is accumulated. Same thing with Sarda, by the way, who has the Sharingan she wasn't using.
Yeah.
But wanted relying on Yodo to hear the suns rustling together. It's just I don't know, man. Maybe Mitsuki doesn't
the
have
thing
like
is,
the
like,
sensory thing.
if they want to have it so that Mitsuki's Sage Mode, for whatever reason, just doesn't have sensory abilities, or whatever it has in place of it to make up for it, whatever, that's fine. But you gotta write that into the story, because otherwise, he just has the strongest Sage power ever, and for some reason isn't sensing. This is like, what? You have to address it.
He is the strongest sage power ever, and is the weakest character here.
Always on the battlefield.
It's like,
Always.
unironically, I think Mitsuki had better feats before he went into Sage Mode. Sage Mode was a nerf for him in this fight.
Though. That's why it was like
part
all
one
hyped
Mitsuki
up
was
at
really
first.
good.
I mean, in this fight in particular, which is even hilarious. Even more hilarious.
True.
Like, I was excited because he was doing good in base, and then he activates Sage Mode, and then he starts off pretty good. So I'm like,
Mitsuki's
okay.
Sage mode is just lame, man. It's lame because all he does is just spam snakes.
His chocolate
That's all.
snake.
That's all he does. Like every time he's in a fight, oh, I'm gonna fire my snakes at you. Legit, this attack that he's using here on Ryu, it's the same combination he tried on Boruto.
Yeah.
Spawn the snakes from below, wrap him up, then try to fire snakes at him. Same thing he did with Boruto, and Boruto teleported. He does the same thing in every fight. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Like, I just I don't understand
Just
it, man.
watch the
I don't
first two
understand
arcs of the Boruto anime: Academy Mitsuki versus Sumire, or Mitsuki versus Shinki. It's night and day how much more strategic this kid was.
Even
Yeah,
Mitsuki versus
and he has
Shino.
more abilities. He has more abilities. For some reason the Ikimoto just doesn't allow him to use them. For some reason he's just chakra snakes.
Remember
he
when
has
fight with
purple lightning.
Remember
Use
when
purple
Urashiki,
lightning, and he doesn't use it.
Urashiki, the strongest Otsutsuki, said that Mitsuki's inkling of a flare of Sage Mode was dangerous, so he can't allow him to use that power. Probably means that even that small flare was probably beating up base Momoshiki.
Yeah, that was good. I feel like I kind of feel like Mitsuki was a child of Kodachi, because a lot of the stuff in the anime earlier on, even with Sumire and the Jogan and Nue and all that stuff, a lot of that stuff was Kodachi, right? And his direction he was taking the story. I feel like it feels that the anime kind of dropped all of that stuff once he left. I don't know, and maybe even Sarda was doing. Sarda in the anime, she has different abilities. Like she can do she copied some abilities from the ninjas in the Mist Village, that she used later on, but it never translated to the manga. I'm not sure why.
Like the lightning ball.
So yeah, she just spams Chidori and Fireball. If you guys realize this, Sarda never punched someone in TBV. You guys realize that in every
I think
fight
she
has
the
had?
closest thing she does is yank throw, Chidori out of a claw mark, but that's not impressive because Boruto did the same thing to Code back in the Code arc.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she hasn't punched someone. Her fist hasn't touched someone since TBV began, and she's been in like 4 fights or 5. It's just Chidori, then Fireball, then
Yeah, the
Chidori,
only
Fireball,
new
then Chidori,
jutsu is
Fireball,
Chidori
then Chidori.
String.
Yeah, yeah, and even when they allowed her to do the a different Fireball jutsu, she did the Phoenix Flower, which Sasuke was Sasuke did from part 1. I'm like,
Yeah.
One
come
of the
on, man.
first jutsu he
Come
showed
on,
us.
man. Come on, man. At least give her something different. I'm
Mhm.
glad they didn't go the Amaterasu route with the Mangekyo stuff, and they gave her something different. Cause I'm not trying to say Sasuke 2.0, man.
Well, what I
I
will
can
say,
go watch
we
Shippuden,
haven't seen the spoilers yet. Just give that out there.
Oh, okay. That's it's
Well,
good that you
I
said
mean,
that.
at the very least, the jutsu we saw in the last chapter wasn't
Yeah, no,
Amaterasu
I was
anyway,
saying
so-
that preemptively, not saying that was a spoiler. 'Cause we already knew that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That being
So
said,
yeah,
you never
hopefully
know.
Mitsuki get the yeah. Hopefully Mitsuki gets the same treatment. You know, maybe he pops off eventually.
I'm
But as
I'm
of
just
right now,
hoping
he's
for
like
a reveal.
1%. You know.
I just want to reveal that he just wasn't going all out for whatever. I don't even care what the
Oh my
dumbass reason is at this
god.
point. He wasn't
Oh
trying,
my
and then when he
god.
finally tries, it's revealed I was trying. It's because
I
because I don't want him to do anything to get stronger. He should already
mhm.
have been
Yeah.
as strong as we wanted. Like he should have
They
did back
can
in
do
part
it.
1. He was, and before the series began, he was strong enough to be in this fight and be useful. So he didn't even Academy Mitsuki's
Mm.
fine. So like
I
this is
they might do something for real when it comes to the Sage mode, Sage transformation stuff. And they can say like, oh, you know, he hasn't truly mastered Sage mode, and that's why he gets tired and he gets knocked out easily,
But
and
he's
that's
not
why he
getting
doesn't have
tired in Two Blue
sensory.
Vortex. He just isn't getting stronger. He just is the same as he was in base anyway.
Yeah. Funnily enough, I said it. It's kind of
It gets
kind of weird,
weaker.
but bro had feats like in Sage mode comparable to base Sarda during the Ryugu
Yeah,
fight.
that's my complaint. We were debating
It,
Invincible on this the other day, remember Rudy?
Yeah. Does
it's just I
does
feel like
Yodo
it
have
comes
any
down to
feats against
Ikimoto
Ryu
not.
that are relative to Sage Mode Mitsuki here or better?
Huh?
No, Yoda does nothing in the fight. She
Yodo,
just
nothing.
stands and tells them
Okay.
where he is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the
She
only one you
doesn't
can't
fight.
say. But
That's fine.
Araya and Sarda, you can argue are relative to, if not better. This is base Sarda.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say base
To
Sarda
Sage
looked
Mitsuki.
better, but she was relative, and that's just
You
ridiculous
already
as it
know
is.
Mangekyou's gonna be way stronger than Sage Mode Mitsuki for no reason.
I already, without seeing
Yeah,
the
she far
spoilers, I saw
surpasses
enough of
him
the
now.
spoilers. Like,
Okay.
Yeah. But it's like I feel like it comes down to Ikimoto's drawing style really. Cause it's just
Mhm.
him not like distinguishing. Like when you see Sage Mitsuki fight, there's no difference between Sage Mitsuki and base Mitsuki.
well, what do
The
you mean,
same damage
Cheeto?
he
He
does, the
draws it
same
like a movie.
impact.
He draws it like a movie.
This is an
Oh
argument
my
from Troy.
god.
Troy said that the Boruto manga has movie level choreography.
Movie level
Yeah,
choreography? What
it
does that
moves
So
mean?
like a movie.
that's what we said.
What does that mean?
we asked him about this on the podcast.
I don't know. I guess, to each his own. I don't know. I think I said this on stream the other day. I think Boruto is lacking when it comes to choreography.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
It's lacking when it
It
comes to
isn't
it
now.
because, and I said I said like if you go back to Naruto, it's so funny. I saw people on Twitter the other day, which man, I have most of that community blocked to be honest. Talking some nonsense. Saying that the fights are better than they were nowadays, better choreography. I'm like, bro, what did we read 2 different series? Hey, you go back to like the fights in Naruto, even to part 1. The taijutsu is way more refined. It's way more unique. Like every character fights different. The Hyuga fight different. The Guy and Lee fights different. Naruto has his own flashy style as well. Um, and it's just people, it's just different variety when it comes to taijutsu. In Boruto, it's like everyone fights the same, and that's because Boruto emulates how Dragon Ball Z does taijutsu. in the latter half of the series. That is, early Dragon Ball. You had the tournament of I was gonna say tournament of power, but you guys know the tournament that Goku did. When he was younger and all that stuff in early DB and all and Dragon Ball Z. Like you saw martial arts, right? You saw a different variety when it came to different
Now,
fighting
to be
styles.
fair, to be fair, to be
Later
fair,
on,
I know what you're gonna say. Later
Yeah.
on, they do the ta 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 thing to where it's just like the same like 3 animation frames played on loop.
yeah,
But that's just like basically filler on top of the actual choreography they do in the fight. Like if you rewatch the Frieza fight, the Cell fight, the Buu fights, all of them have actually unique choreography on top of that. Like that's the base of the fight, and it's like the cherry on top is the ta 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 ta, especially in the anime, obviously.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I think it's less. I think it's lesser. I do think of course they're doing some martial arts, but I think it's way more simplistic than earlier on. To be honest,
yeah, it doesn't
I
even
think
need to be
earlier on they really
necessarily
focused on it.
martial arts. Like look at how Minato uses flying Raijin. I mean, just anything you can do for flying, ki blast, the direction of the ki moving, even teleportation through Goku's whatever, even the Genki Dama in a way, it's choreography to some extent.
Yeah, everything is choreography. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just what is it simpler? Is it more complex? That's what it comes down to.
I
And of
agree.
course, when it comes to the anime always adds onto it. The anime does you get the board anime when it comes to the Momoshiki fight. It's awesome, right? The Delta fight also had good choreography. The what's it fight? Kawaki versus Garo. I love that episode.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I think it does when it comes to I think from the manga though. I'm speaking purely from about the manga. It's just punch kick punch kick punch kick. You punch, I
It's not even
dodge,
just
I
that.
kick.
It's
It's
punching in the
very
exact
simplistic.
same position as every time Mitsuki does his snakes, he's in the same pose. Every time Kawaki does his ninja again, he's in the same pose. Boruto the same thing. Like they all are
Yeah.
drawn in the exact same pose
Yeah,
in
It's
every single
it's not
punch they
even
do.
that. If you go to the Delta fight, they legit reuse the same
Oh, you
panels
literally,
in
I don't know.
the Naruto versus Shishiki fight. It's just you're just swapping out the characters. It's the same panels, So for the life of
Unironically,
me, I just
to this
don't
day,
understand how you can say the choreography is better. To be
the
honest,
best choreography fight in the Boruto manga might just be the Owl fight. To this day,
yeah, I
Koji versus
agree. I
Shigen is pretty
reread that the
that
other
good.
was
day.
good, but it is
That
short. The Owl one was
that
longer.
entire arc, that entire arc had good choreography.
Yeah, I
To be
agree.
honest,
Like it's crazy because
I think.
I don't want to say a nothing fight. It's like the climax of that whole arc, and the arc is good, even if it's boring a little bit sometimes. But
Mm-hmm.
that's not.
I mean, I will say though,
Yeah,
it's
you're
nowhere
right.
near as good in the
You're
manga
right.
as it is in the anime. Like you should.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
even you go to like Boruto TBV, Himawari, and granted,
Oh
granted,
God, don't get me started.
granted, she isn't using the Byakugan. But of course,
Or the gentle fist.
that's how she trained to fight. And you don't need to activate the Byakugan to use the gentle fist. It just enhances the ability. But that's how the Hyuga fight. That's how she was trained to fight her entire life. But like even Himawari, she's fighting Jura. She's not fighting like how a Hyuga fights. I don't know. Like
And it's not
Not
even that
fighting
she
like how
found.
Himawari fights.
Yeah, it's not that
yeah,
she
she doesn't
even
fight like how
found something
Himawari
better.
fights.
Like it's not like she's substituting it with the Nine Tails arm that not even the Sharingan can track because it's unpredictable. It's like it's
Yeah.
lagging behind Naruto's movements. Oh, it's doing its own thing. It's like it's got a mind of its
Or
own.
running on all fours like an animal because she's consumed by the power.
Yeah, she's not doing that. She's just
Yeah.
fighting like Sakura, just
She just
punching
she's
Jura.
just fighting like Sakura. She's just punching him. That's all it's just that's what I'm saying. Like I just I don't know, man. People are delusional, whatever. Maybe. We shall see. We shall see. We're gonna get Sarda. Maybe Sarda punches someone in the next chapter. Who knows?
I pray
We shall
Konohamaru
see.
pops off.
We'll see what
I
happens.
need him to do cool jutsu before something happens in the fight.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
want Mitsuki
And
to
maybe
do
Boruto
something.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
When Boruto
I just
fights
want
through, I guess
Yodo
we're
to
gonna see
die.
some nice.
Get out of my sight. Mitsuki to take over.
I did hear one spoiler that she might die, but I don't know.
I hope she does.
I hope she does.
Get out of my
I hope
sight.
she does as well. I hope she does as well.
So
Hmm.
on Sage Mode Mitsuki, correct me if I'm wrong. I think at least it was in the anime. I think Orochimaru said, if anyone sees you use Sage Mode, then a curse mark will automatically activate.
No. I think
No,
it's if
it
they
was
try to figure out how it works or something or whatever, something like that.
yeah, it was in the that's in the Mitsuki desertion arc. It was like if they do whatever to his heart to figure out how it works, a curse mark would activate. What you're referring to, Oodie, is when he tells Mitsuki, if you use your sage power, you won't be allowed to stay in the village. Even though
Okay.
he's used it in front of the elders, Ibiki, Shikamaru, and everyone else willy-nilly.
Well, that's not what I was referring to,
far as
but
I'm
like that
aware,
would go
he's
along
still in
with
the
it,
village.
obviously. But yes.
Yeah.
Because that one I
pretty much.
did know. It was this other one that I wasn't sure of. But,
Mm.
well,
No, I think
Either way,
not
at
happening
this
here
point,
on the
I
day.
wish it was the latter, just so that Ikimoto could be proven to have forgotten. Even more so.
No. You know what he would do? He would be called out for it, and then he would say that the plus on Mitsuki's nose is the curse mark. But
Or he'd
what
say
does
whatever he would
Sauron
say, whatever Kurama said. You just need to accept the circumstances. But anyway,
I don't know how.
I know Saran just joined,
I know,
but
Kamui, I
like,
know. Sauron, do you want to do the outro?
I need to go to sleep. You guys can't stay live, but I need to go to bed now.
Okay. Well, with that being said, Sauron, would you like to tell Kamui good night? Man, I guess, yeah, I guess Sauron just doesn't like you anymore, Kamui. I'm sorry to say it. I don't even know what you did.
Well, Saran, you are allowed to have a good night.
Oh, there we go.
But everyone else is allowed to have
Good
a
night,
great
Kamui.
night.
I hope you had a good stream. I didn't know that the stream has been going on for 3 hours. I just checked
How?
right this second.
This is supposed to be 90 minutes.
No, it's 3 hours. I just checked.
Well, you know, potato.
We tried. We failed. All right. Good night.
Hope you have good sleep. I won't. Good night to you, though.
That's not positive. Stay positive. Good night.
I should consider sleeping on my floor.
Why?